I think a lot of the issues that a lot of people are having with streaming content at the moment is that 8 is a really awkward number of episodes.
Yeah, it is. It is like a really weird...
And do you want to know one of the things that the 8 episodes specifically doesn't give you?
What doesn't it give us?
Downtime with the characters.
That's true.
Because you kind of have to rush through exposition every single time, the pacing of the structure of the pacing of an 8-episode story hasn't necessarily been realized yet. In the same way that in the feature film, most stories, to an extent, will follow the hero's journey. In the same... that most 20-minute episodes will follow Dan Harmon's story circle, whether they intend to or not. The structure of 8 episodes isn't one that we entirely know what to do with yet. And it's not one that sort of comes as naturally as some of these other mediums.
Because I feel like, because it's more like, you reckon it's the streaming aspect that's created these like 8-episode thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel
without
like
question.
that's what's created it.
Yeah, and
but no one's tried to like optimize it, I guess, or even trying to find the right story.
Oh no,
to tell with
they're
it.
trying to optimize it.
Yeah, they're trying to optimize.
But the problem is, a lot of what they're doing is trying to turn what was previously going to be a feature film into something optimized for this format, as opposed to potentially creating something completely from scratch for this format. And so, if we're keeping with our discussion of Star Wars shows, I think that The Mandalorian is one of the easiest cases for how it can work and how it can sometimes not. In season 1, yeah, there was a single overarching story, but every single episode was its own self-contained.
Yes.
And so I think as far as 8-episode runs go, maybe more self-contained stories are better, as opposed to the serialization, which is what modern TV audiences seem to be after.
Well, because that's even... I can't remember who was... I think it was Dan Harmon that talked about it. He was talking about like people paying attention, like using the serialization rather than like an episode at a time, maybe with an overarching story. And said it's hard to keep people in the old way because it was once every week, right? Or even, maybe longer for watching it live on TV compared to now, where you can either... They do stream it like a week at a time, but you can wait and have it all in like one session essentially, rather than waiting for the next one to come out and sit on it. Do you think that affects it as well? That some people don't have to wait for the next episode? Sometimes it's just like all there for you.
Honestly, I don't know if that affects what you're talking about as much as it affects the conversation around it. Again, if we talk about The Acolyte, there are people who go, hey, if you go back and watch it all in one sitting, it's actually a really good viewing. And quite frankly, it could be. But also, at the same time, you shouldn't have to watch the thing standing on one leg under the light of a full moon in order to get the correct viewing experience. If it's made for a smaller screen, brilliant, make it for a smaller screen. Make it as accessible in as many ways possible. If it's made for the big screen, then make it for cinemas. Like, you know what these streaming services could almost do with these 8-episode runs? They could take it back to the old serial days, to the Nickelodeons, and do 8 episodes at the fucking cinemas.
Yeah, I mean...
and you pay like half the price you would for a feature to go in for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're probably there with a whole collective of other nerdy idiots like yourself.
Yeah, right.
And you get to make a communal watching experience.
And that would probably enhance it as well. Because I think that's a big thing as well. Watching it together can enhance the experience as well.
Absolutely.
That is the end of the episode. Let us know what you think about the conversation in the comment section below and smash that like button.
Ring the bell and subscribe as well. And you better be back next time.
And we will see you in the next episode.